I used to have nothing.
Welcome back to Director's Choice. In what is now 8 Marvel movies, with one being her own, and multiple variations of the comics, is Natasha Romanoff. However, you may know her better as her alias, the Black Widow. Anytime she's on screen, you may find her time there impeccable, and you may also find it irritating that she's not on the big screen anymore. With such limited time on screen in most movies, it may be a wonder to many what exactly makes the assassin-turned-hero tick. Well, in this video, we'll discuss and go over Black Widow's backstory and what she must have gone through to become a spy assassin and to turn into a hero. Let's break it down.
I've killed so many people. I couldn't be more proud of you.
You smell really bad.
The background of Black Widow is a bit difficult, as what we know of her childhood seems to be a lot of lies that the assassin made up in order to protect herself, her job, and her real identity. This includes the name Natalia Alyanovna Romanovna and most details of her childhood.
I want to go back there. I want to stay in Ohio. You can't take her. You can't.
It turns out most of them, if not all, aren't real. Many stories exist, with one being that a fire claimed her parents' lives when she was a baby, but she went on to be a famous and notable ballerina. Others say the story has a much darker turn, with the baby disappearing into the night. No one truly knows what happened, not even Natasha herself. However, what Black Widow does remember is always having the loyalty to carry out orders given by her supervisors, whether it be those from the Black Widow Project, the KGB, or later, S.H.I.E.L.D. She would carry these orders out, no matter the cost, and is known to protect superiors or friends with everything she's got. With the KGB, Natasha followed their orders until she was ordered to break into Stark Industries with the help of Hawkeye, who at the time was a vigilante archer for hire. The two quickly gained feelings for each other, and Natasha admitted her hesitance with the mission. She even began to think about how she would escape both the KGB and her only known home. When the KGB caught wind of the possible defection, they sent a different assassin to kill Black Widow and Hawkeye. This led both Black Widow and Hawkeye, who she caught feelings for, to seek refuge with the United States. They did this by becoming the heroes we know and love today under the Institute S.H.I.E.L.D.
We gotta stop him.
Yeah, who's we?
I don't know. Whoever's left.
Well,
Let's see where she started and how far she has grown mentally to become a better person and an actual full-fledged hero. According to psychoanalyst Wilhelm Reich, people with dysfunctional personalities can be categorized into one of 5 groups: the unwanted child, the needy child, the endurer, the controller, or the perfectionist. For Natasha, we'll be looking at both the controller and the perfectionist. The controller is listed as someone who has parents or authority figures who may have belittled or judged the subject when it came to self-expression or identity. This can be said as technically true for Black Widow, as she did have superiors that did this to her in the KGB on multiple occasions. As to be a successful and useful spy, you can have no self-expression or personal identity. After all, people with these thoughts would not listen to commands as clearly or so to the letter, making it most difficult for the KGB to control people like Black Widow.
Оказалось просто еще одно красивое птичка.
Вы правда думаете, что я красива?
Another point to the controller category is that the subject can manipulate their talents to get love or attention as they see fit, but deep down cannot return the feeling of love and may end up feeling more broken instead. We may have seen Black Widow do this multiple times. For example, her time spent with Bruce Banner could have been just this. Natasha and Bruce really seemed to hit it off before Infinity War, but now there's nothing there. However, during the times they seem interested in each other to some degree, Natasha is quick and spontaneous to the point that she even suggests that they run away together. The second category would be the perfectionist. People in this category are continually rejected by their parents or authority figures to some degree. These parental or authoritative figures are typically more cerebral than heart-centered and push their perfectionist ways onto the subject in question. For Black Widow, that could mean that her superiors, the only real authority that she can remember, has made it difficult for her to feel safe when it comes to emotions. They may come as more foreign to her than most. It also becomes more believable when you remember what spies and assassins actually do. They must control their impulses and emotions to do what job lies before them, and that job must be done perfectly. We also see this in movies after she's joined the Avengers. There's a scene where she's tied up and things are clearly not going her way. However, she still holds that she has the men right where she wants them. Despite the fact that she's able to turn this around, we have to admit that it didn't look like it was going her way, and this may be a hint that she's still not able to admit that the perfection in her work isn't always there. The Red Room, or Black Widow program, was an underground training program that involved taking women like Natasha and turning them into elite spiders or assassins. How did they do this? It was a combination of psychological obedience, conditioning, and sometimes flat-out mind control.
The most important thing in life is desire.
Girls chosen for the Black Widow program were typically orphaned or abandoned by their parents at a young age. Once admitted into the program, these girls would be put through multiple strenuous activities, including hand-to-hand combat, weapons training, tactical skills, and acrobatics. They were also forced to undergo intense ballet lessons to prove their physical and mental attributes were unbreakable to their enemies.
I made a name for myself.
Anyone seen unfit or defective by the program would be eliminated, and typically only around 1 in 20 girls would survive the rough training. These factors of the Red Room alone definitely desensitized morality and murder to Natasha, making it easier and less conflicting for her to do her job.
Agent Barton was sent to kill me. He made a different call.
Black Widow is loyal to a fault. We can see it when she saved Captain America during Civil War. There are many other examples of her being loyal to a fault when it comes to her friends, and even before that when it came to her supervisors. She puts her friends before anything, and while that may seem like a plus up front, it can also be seen as a fault psychologically. We've seen that this loyalty means she'd throw away her self-preservation if it means keeping her friends safe. We saw this primarily when she sacrificed herself for Hawkeye. I fully believe that you can be too loyal to your friends or family, and I think that Black Widow is a good example of what crosses the line at times. It's important to be there for the people you love, but you must also think of yourself and know when to put you before someone else in your daily life. Black Widow does not have this capability. Black Widow is an interesting and extremely beloved character by everyone who loves the MCU, including me. She may not remember her childhood, as it most likely all occurred in the Red Room and with the KGB, but she developed and grew as a person that many in the universe love and can count on. She's worked hard to trust and love for the first time ever in her life, and we can assume that if she hadn't given everything to save the world, then we'd still see that growth out of her. Natasha is a great example of how people can change for the better and how it's important to support them when we can through every step of that process. Change isn't easy, but it's possible. Do you think Black Widow made a change for the better? Let us know in the comments. Take a look at this other recent clip by Director's Choice and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified with our latest videos.